Well, hello there. How is everyone today? Nothing much to report. I had no work assignments today, but cleaned house some, did dishes, did some laundry, walked the beast that is behind me. You can probably hear him munching on a dog, a rawhide chew. She has this fascination for chewing things, so I have to make sure she always has something to chew. And she'll rotate between that and a bone and a chew stick, and then back to the rawhide. So this dog has this need to chew. So I don't know how to broach this subject properly, but I guess I should be very direct. One thing I've noticed with the COVID-19, the coronavirus, and living under it, a lot of the shelters have had issues with the coronavirus. And there's been, and I don't know, maybe there's the same amount of homeless people on the street as before, but they're more noticeable because there's less traffic out there. But it seems like all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but it's been a gradual thing. It seemed like all of a sudden overnight there was homeless people, and then gradually there's more and more homeless people. And I don't know if they're afraid of staying at the shelters, or if the shelters I don't know if the shelters maybe are only turning away people or not at capacity because they're wanting to maintain social distance. I'm not sure exactly what happens. But usually when I'm walking the dog, I usually never saw homeless people, but I'm starting to see them more frequently. In fact, one afternoon about a couple of weeks ago, I went to go walk the dog, and I'm at the very back of the condo complex. So I usually go out the back gate and then come in through the front gate and walk through, or sometimes I reverse it. Anyway, that particular day, I walked out the back gate and I noticed a couple homeless people kind of hanging out in the alley. There's some businesses behind me, and so, I've seen them in the past on and off, but there was like two people. I walked the dog, had a long walk, so it was like about an hour and a half walk. And then when I got back, for whatever reason, I decided to come through the back gate again. They had set up like a little campment. I mean, it was amazing. Now there was like 5 or 6 of them. They had put up tarps from the trash bin for our condo unit to my wall of the back of my unit. Needless to say, call 911 because there's really no reason they should be congregating on my property or on the property of the condo, because we do have the parking lot back there. But it was like instant homeless encampment. Obviously, they got rid of it. But it's just amazing how many more homeless people I have. Along with that, because, we're all socially distancing, and I was walking the dog. Again, this is a few weeks ago. It was like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. And I'm walking the dog, and all of a sudden, this guy pulls up in a pickup truck, rolls down his window, and propositions me. I'm a middle-aged man. I'm like, I may be hot for some people, but I'm not. The blush of youth of mine is gone. And he just completely propositioned me. There was a nice pickup truck. It was a younger guy, younger than me, probably in his 30s. And I'm like, no, thank you. I'm walking the dog. I keep going. Then about a week and a half ago, I'm walking the dog, and somebody who's just walking down the street propositions me. Like, okay. And of course, this person looked a little sketchier. Obviously was wanting some money, and he sees middle-aged gay man, or at least a middle-aged man in the gayborhood, which is where I live. And I guess maybe this is his way of trying to make some money. This doesn't normally happen in my neighborhood. It happened to be in a nice neighborhood. So, but it's like, again, we're starting to see more homeless people, more questionable type people that don't normally belong in the neighborhood walking the streets. And I'm like, okay. And then today I ran to Kroger because I had to go get a few essentials, milk and orange juice, and they had been out of dog chews for the dog, and I needed to pick some up. So I quickly ran into my Kroger, and while I was in the parking lot, this guy's working the parking lot, and I get propositioned by him too. I'm like, how desperate are people? I mean, this is not something you normally see in the neighborhood, and they're just in the middle of the day, just propositioning me. And I'd love to be flattered by it, but when you look at who these people were, they're pretty sketchy. And obviously they were wanting to make some sort of money. No, I'm not going to take them up on their offer. Or like the guy in the pickup truck, you could tell he probably wasn't wanting money. He was just so horny. He just wanted to hook up with somebody. I'm seeing this more and more. It's so strange, um, because I haven't encountered this in ages. Every blue moon years ago, once every maybe 5 years or 6 years, I get hit up on. But it's such a rare thing, and then to all of a sudden, within a matter of like the last 3 weeks, it happening 3 times, and it makes me wonder. Is people are wanting, basically trying to make some money, and they're just wanting to do that. Um, but very odd, and it's just something a little unexpected, that is new, that hasn't been happening. Um, I don't believe in anonymous hookups or that kind of hookups. It's just, that's not in my wheelbarrow. But I usually like to date somebody and get to know them and go out with them a few times before I have a roll in the sack with them. To me, sex is too much of a private thing to just do it on the fly like that. I don't find that sexually arousing or interesting to do it all. It just, that, if anything, it turns me off, because I feel like I'm under performance pressure. I gotta perform, and it just does not work for me. So a little bit of romance and dating and going out and canoodling and snuggling and then maybe kissing and making out a little bit. I'm traditional that way. I know a lot of people believe in the hookup culture. That never really was me. I can't say I've never done it, because I did do it when I was younger, but I just never enjoyed it, really. So it's something I have very infrequently done in my life, and especially now being in my 50s, to be propositioned so much, and all I could think of was they're thinking I've got money, and little do they know I'm practically unemployed, so I would not have money to spare. Um, just kind of interesting. It's just something I've not encountered in a long time, and it was, as I say, today with the going to the Kroger grocery store, and right by when I was returning my shopping cart, this guy just wanted to hook up and just point blank told me what he wanted to do, and it was pretty graphic. I won't put it here, but let your imagination run. That's all he wanted to do it all. um but and I looked at this guy. It looked like he hadn't he if you could groom him, he would have been attractive, but looked like he needed a shower for he hadn't showered in quite a few days. So pretty much a homeless person is was doing it, and young guy who looked healthy, but just, oh, no. But I haven't been in a relationship in a long time, and I really haven't dated much. um Kind of sort of was dating someone there towards the end of last year, but it just kind of you know didn't quite work out. And then I had gone out a couple times with somebody before this whole COVID-19 happened, and actually finally went on a great date, and we were to have another date, and then this all happened. And it's like, oh, darn it, it'd be great to have had that second date. Maybe we'll have it after this whole thing blows over, but um, we haven't really been in communication as much. It's kind of tapered off as the weeks have gone by, so it probably won't happen. But it's an interesting time, because I would like to go out on a date, but I can't do it because of this COVID-19 thing. And I've never been very successful on online platforms. I just, somebody who can talk nonstop, like I can do in these videos. The minute I get on an online platform and try to talk with someone, I'm just not that great at flirting. And I can do it in person, but there's something about the technology that it just doesn't work. I'm better live instead of live through a camera. But yeah, kind of has put a halt to being able to go out with somebody and possibly date. But I've been single really for quite a few years now, so this has not changed my status. It's still single. But it's one of my things that I had said to myself at the beginning of this year, not really a New Year's resolution, was I need to go out and start dating more, because pretty much I've been a hermit for the last couple of years, and maybe went out a couple times and saw somebody briefly, but really get out into the dating scene and go out and put myself out there, because I think I've reached a point where I'm ready to be in a relationship again. The fates intervened. So that's my status. Looking for love during the COVID-19. Well, not really looking for love. I actually am very happy with my life personally, not the situation I'm living in at the moment, but as a individual, I'm a happy single person. And it wasn't that I have to have somebody in my life, but yeah, it'd kind of be nice to be able to go out with someone and canoodle and snuggle and have somebody to, spend the night with Saturday night and maybe go to their place Friday night. I don't know, just have a dating relationship. I'm not ready to get married or get involved permanently with someone, but just to go out and be with someone where we can just share laughter and good times. And I was so funny because I was so committed to try to do that this year. And I kind of was sort of heading in that way with somebody and finally managed to have that date. And here I am. Oh, well. Not disappointed, but at the same time, not enthused that I still find myself in this position. And of course, now I really can't do anything about it because of I'm such a paranoid person when it comes to catching diseases, I've discovered. Because basically, I came out during the beginning of the AIDS crisis. In fact, at that point, it didn't have a name. The first guy I dated died of AIDS. And so for the longest, I thought I would be HIV positive. And by some miracle, I wasn't. But it made me very cautious because of that experience to open up sexually to anybody and date. And that's why I'm so traditionalist in the way I want to date, really get to know the person well before we take it to that next step. But I was always, even back then, so paranoid because of sex could be deathly back then till we had, a test. And of course, I was one of the first to run out and get the test because I thought I was going to be positive. And I was so relieved when I found out that I wasn't. And I was like, okay, I'm going to maintain that. So I've always looked at sex and dating with an apprehension because during my coming out stage, when I'm in my late teens and 20s, when you normally start dating and experimenting, going out with people, the specter of HIV/AIDS loomed over me. So it made me very cautious. And here I am 30 some odd years later, and now COVID-19. When I'm in a position where I'm ready to start dating again, and then this happens, and I'm such a paranoid, I don't want to catch it with someone. If I kiss somebody and they have it and they transmit it to me, no. So maybe I'm saying my life has been full of sexual frustration. I don't know. Maybe I am in that particular age group where this has happened. So it's really only particular to me. Only particular to me. Just not had much success. I mean, I was involved in an 18-year relationship, so I can't say I've not been in a relationship. And then, I dated before then, and I've dated a few people after that, but nothing lasted more than 6 months after my 18-year relationship. So, and I've been single now for quite a few years, really. Not anybody that serious. So, anyway, but yeah, it's just kind of interesting that here at this point, when I had made this resolution to get myself out there, and all my friends were teasing me. It's like, you really need to start going out and dating. And I was like, yeah, I've been such a hermit for so many years. I really need to do that. And then, so that's my life. Sex in the era of the coronavirus. Not happening. Oh, well. Those are my musings for today, and a little bit more confessional. Hope you found some humor in it. I find it, oddly enough, strangely funny that I find myself in this position. But there you have it. So that's my news. Don't forget to please subscribe if you can. I'd like to be able to up my subscriber level a little bit, and I would really appreciate it if you want to share this video with anybody. I am keeping a chronicle. I know some people are telling me that they really like looking at these videos as they see me experience life under this isolation and what all is happening in my different musings of how I'm processing all of this. So feel free to share this in the playlist because there's a playlist. So if you're bored and you want to get, some entertainment and watch moments of my life, my daily living, some of the videos are very short. They're, a minute long. Some are long, like my 26-minute video, which is very dramatic. But these are just my musings. So it could entertain you while you're sitting at home bored. You can spend an hour and a half or two with me talking about my daily experience and comparing them to yours. Anyway, have yourselves a good evening, because it's evening time here if you watch this now. If not, have a great day, and I will talk at you tomorrow and do my regular sign off of trying to find the button. You would think I know where the button is to turn off this video, but I always have to search for it. So here we go. Ah, there it is. Ah, am I reaching it? Ah.